Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. I'm your host, Alex, here to bring you my second video for the college football playoff first round. We're talking SMU visiting Penn State. Penn State is an 8.5 point favorite in this game. So, let's first talk background about both of these teams. SMU, led by head coach Rhett Lashley. This is his third year at SMU, second straight year winning 11 games. This year, though, is SMU's first year in the ACC. People thought that they weren't going to be able to compete at this level coming from a mid-major. What do you know? They win 11 games yet again, make it to the ACC championship game. Did fall short in an amazing comeback bid against Clemson, but still an 11-2 season. They're led by their quarterback, Kevin Jennings. Kevin Jennings didn't start the year as the starting quarterback, but he was inserted early on, and the offense really took off. Ninth nationally in passing offense yards per attempt this season. And they're balanced out with their running game with Brashard Smith at running back. He transferred in from Miami, where he was a receiver, converted to running back for SMU, and he's taken off over 1,200 yards rushing this season, and he's done it against some pretty stingy run defenses. Boston College, Pitt, two teams, for example, he went over 100 yards rushing, and those have been top 30 level run defenses this season. So they have a very good offense, well balanced, and a lot of speed on that offense as well. You look at them defensively, fourth nationally against the run this season. Always got to double click into that and say, well, have they really stopped anybody that can actually run the ball? Got to put it out there. They stopped Phil Maffa, Cade Klubnik in that ACC championship game, shut them down. So that SMU run defense could say is for real. You look at Penn State's side, you're talking James Franklin. James Franklin has had Penn State as one of the, let's say, top 15 type teams in the country year in and year out. His problem has always been he couldn't get over the Michigan Ohio State hump. This year was the Ohio State Oregon hump. But because the college football playoff expanded to 12 teams, you find yourself with Penn State in the college football playoff. Now, if we flash back to the preseason in my Big Ten preview video, I said, or actually my college football playoff video, I said that Penn State will make the college football playoff, but they are going to be the fraud team in the college football playoff, and I still believe that. I believe they only made the playoff because of their schedule and also because of their brand. Their schedule got them a great record, and their brand, I would say, let the committee kind of ignore the fact that they're not really beating very good teams to get their 11-1 regular season. So that's what really got Penn State in the college football playoff. That's what I predicted back then, and I believe that this season has gone pretty much according to plan, or according to that plan. So now when you're looking at Penn State, you're looking at their quarterback, Drew Allar. I was hard on Drew Allar last season, but this season he certainly has improved a lot. They're eighth nationally in passing offense yards per attempt. I think he has a lot of NFL tools, and I also think he's smart in the sense that he's coming back for his senior year. He's already announced that. You look at running back, Katron Allen, Nick Singleton. I've been hard on them since last season. I never thought they met the hype, or they deserved the hype that they were getting. I thought that was proven last year, week in and week out. They looked like plotters. This season looked a little. They've looked better. I'm gonna give them that. They look better, but they still don't look like explosive running backs to me. Penn State has been for years now. Has been led by their defense, and this season hasn't been any different. Seventh nationally against the run, and then against the pass, they're still one of the top teams in the country defending the pass as well. So this is yet again another year of a great Penn State defense. So when I'm looking at this game, my X factor is they are who we thought they were. Shout out to and RIP to the late great Denny Green. You look at Penn State, you're looking at the meat of the schedule right here, these 8 games. And I look at this and I say, you know what I see? I don't know what you see, but I see tiers. Tier 3, Tier 2, and Tier 1. Let's start with Tier 3. But the Tier 3 garbage teams, just call it what it is, Purdue blew them out. Washington's got a quarterback that has games where he's only thrown 50 yards passing. Blew them out. Maryland's just a bad team, straight up, up, down, down, left, right, BA start. Any way you want to look at it, Maryland is a bad team. Blew them out. So, okay, if Penn State's playing bad teams, they'll blow them out. Tier 2, mid-level teams that can compete, got some talent, not really that great though. USC, they beat them 33-30 in overtime, a game that USC had won. USC showed in that game that Penn State has a speed problem, by the way, because USC was running past those guys. Penn State rallies and wins that game. Wisconsin, they win 28-13, a game that Wisconsin was up. I think it was early fourth quarter. I believe they were up 13-10, something like that. And Wisconsin had a goofball turnover. got Penn State the lead back, and then Drew Lohr actually got hurt, and the backup quarterback, Bo Prebula, I could be pronouncing his name wrong, who's got wheels, has a lot of mobility, caught Wisconsin off guard, and Penn State was able to win that game 28-13, and a game much closer than that score indicates. And then Minnesota, they only beat them by 1. So now I look at this, I say, okay, with Tier 2 teams, Penn State struggles against these kind of teams. Now I look at Tier 1 teams. Ohio State, they lost 20-13 at home, a game that had so much hype. Is Penn State going to finally knock off Ohio State? No, they're not. In that game, Drew Lohr only had, I think, 120 yards passing, by the way. Oregon's number 1 ranked team in the country. They lose that game, the Big Ten title game, big game. What happens? They lose 45-37. So Tier 1 teams, that's college football playoff caliber teams, Penn State can't beat them. So now I look at SMU, you say, well, SMU's in the college football playoff, man. They're college football playoff caliber team. I mean, I don't agree with that. I mean, they're in the playoff, correct, but I don't think they should be here. So when I'm looking at this game, I'm looking at the fraud, just calling it what it is, Penn State, against the Cinderella team that should probably be playing in the Pumpkin Bowl, SMU. So who would I pick to win this game? Let me tell you something. As I said in my previous video, this is a game that I'm absolutely not going to place a bet on. I'm not laying 8.5. I'm not taking plus 8.5. I'm not money lining. I'm not buying points. There's no way of knowing how this game is going to go because Penn State has proven time and time again that they're not going to really, they're not working anybody in a big game, right? And that's what this is. This is a big game against a top-ranked team, despite the fact that I think they are overranked. And SMU, they've never been in this situation before, so you don't know how they're going to respond. Plus, it's going to be in Happy Valley, and it's supposed to be freezing cold that night too. So how are they going to respond? So this is a game absolutely 100% stay away from. But if you had to ask me, man, well, who are you going to pick? Who would you, if you had to pick somebody, what would you do? I would take SMU with the plus 8.5. I don't know who I would money line because I'm not going to bet this game. But 8.5 seems like way too many points for a fraud team that doesn't really wax anybody who's has any sort of level of talent whatsoever, and that's what SMU does have. So give me SMU with a plus 8.5. But anyways, if you like the content, please like, comment, subscribe, all of that, as you can see my YouTube handle here in a few seconds. Take care.